João Félix has been magical since joining Barcelona, perfectly linking up with his teammates, offering the outlet that Lewandowski has been asking for, and being the spark the attack has needed since Messi left. But all of this excitement is ignoring a major flaw with this signing that could potentially ruin Barcelona financially again. And this all started when João threw Atleti under the bus and professed his love for Barcelona on live TV. But after João did it, it didn't exactly spark interest on Barcelona's part. It seemed still to be just a rumor, and João was seemingly going to be stuck at Atleti again. But to be fair, the player's frustration does make sense. In 96 games in La Liga, he scored 25 goals and assisted 14 more. That's a fine tally, but nothing special, not 126 million special. And he didn't really look at home at Madrid, and this all makes sense because just a few years after signing at Atleti, a very exciting signing, he was shipped off to Chelsea. And I'm sure while there, he hoped that he could contribute something more to Chelsea than he could at Atleti. But that didn't really happen either. João would score 4 goals and not provide a single assist in 16 games in the Premier League. It's safe to say it was pretty disappointing. Now, was that Chelsea's fault or was that João's fault? I don't know. I think there were a lot of times in those matches where you could have said that João was the most talented player on the field for either team. It just never materialized to anything more than that. This has led to an incredibly messy career for João, so it makes a lot of sense that a lot of people were really confused when Barca were linked with him. We've had too many messy transfers over the past few years to have another one. It doesn't make sense to introduce another problematic player to this mess. We know for a fact that he's not a wide touchline player like Dembele, so he's not going to replace him. And we already have 2 pseudo second strikers in Ansu and Ferran, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to sign a third second striker. This all materialized in Xavi expressing that he wasn't interested in João. In the beginning of the transfer rumors, Xavi said he wasn't interested in him. He didn't want to sign him because there were some questions with João's off-the-ball contributions to the team. A lot of people were worried that he just wasn't going to work in Xavi's system. But even if they could somehow slide him into the team, how in the world was the club going to afford it? The club was in no position to ever buy him, so it didn't make sense for that. And sure, they could loan him for a year, but then would they want to buy him? Because again, it doesn't seem like he can fit into the team. But honestly, the board of Barcelona thought differently. Laporta wanted to sign him, probably to sell some jerseys. But is João Félix still that guy? Do people really care about him that much, especially on loan? Well, in the prime of that confusion, in the dying moments of deadline day, Laporta's board signed João Félix on loan without an option to buy, a very important part for the later in the video. Barca had João Félix. They had a new star boy, but potentially at the cost of their once golden boy. Okay, so we signed João Félix. How did people rationalize that? Well, it turns out that a lot of people, even from the start of the rumors with João Félix, had a lot of confidence in him for the team. Despite the severe amount of concerns about João Félix at Barcelona on Twitter earlier, it seemed like the most in-depth tactical analysis showed João as a pretty good fit for this Barcelona system. And though a lot of people were upset that Ansu left, João seemed like a much better fit to a lot of people for that left-wing second striker position than Ansu did. And sure, maybe Laporta can get his guy that will sell shirts. Once he starts performing well, people will want to buy his shirt, even if he's still on loan. And maybe before the interest in João, Ansu had already wanted to leave because Xavi didn't have a lot of confidence in him in his team. So maybe they were just looking for a replacement for Ansu, which, okay, somewhat makes sense. So how did it actually pan out? Well, safe to say, we were absolutely all impressed. Also, only 2% of viewers subscribe, so consider subscribing to see more. Barcelona with João Félix and João Cancelo look better than they have in years. In just over 140 minutes in La Liga and the Champions League, João has 3 goals and 1 assist. This play by him is unparalleled in any of the teams he had played for before. He hasn't shown this version of himself before since he had been at Benfica. Not only am I hyping him up though, pundits are freaking out. Twitter is freaking out that Barcelona has got their boy, that João Félix is here. João is happy, he's having fun, and so is the rest of the team. Lewandowski is having a ball now that he has someone there to take the pressure off him, take the focus off him, because he's always got 2 center backs beating the crap out of him, but now João is there to take some of that pressure off of him, and to play off of, and communicate with, and we've already seen that beautifully happen already. João was the main guy in Benfica's system. The team was built around him, and he was allowed to shine because of it. At Atleti, he was forced into a much different position than he was at Benfica, and he was definitely not the focal point of that team. And their counter-attacking, very defensive gameplay was a lot different than what he was used to at Benfica. And now it seems a little bit more like that today at Barcelona. Sure, the system was not nearly built around João, but he slides into it very, very well. I think it's very safe to say that even if Félix is even semi-consistent with the form that he is using right now, this is going to be a very special season for him. He's playing for the team that he wanted to since he was a kid, and so he's got some different type of motivation that he's ever had before. And I think we're going to see a much better player than we saw the past couple of years. And I don't think it's outrageous to say that if Barca win the league and make a good run in the Champions League, even potentially win, and Portugal also makes a run in the Euros, João has got a shout for Ballon d'Or 2024. And I am almost certain that's exactly what he's aiming for. Sure, I think he wants to extend his stay at Barcelona, but that might not be possible. So I think his goal right now is to win the Ballon d'Or. He seems very highly motivated right now, and so it makes perfect sense to me that he's going to set his goal at the highest of heights. And obviously that's an ambitious goal considering that Barcelona themselves still believe that they are rebuilding. And so they are not exactly thinking they're going to win the Champions League, it seems, from their interviews and everything. Alas, not all is good in Barcelona's hood right now, because it's almost certain that all of this João magic will be over this year. During all of this insane confusion and then excitement towards João's signing, somewhere in there, João decided to sign an extended contract with Atleti, which is absolutely outrageous to me after all he said about wanting to play at Barcelona. But whatever, it probably has something to do with Barcelona not being able to pay a loan fee and Atleti more willing to let him burn on their bench than see Barcelona succeed with him for a cheap price. For some reason, Barcelona could not include an option to buy in his loan purchase, and because of that, they are probably going to get shafted when João Félix has a very good season. This put Barcelona in an incredibly tough situation. They may very well be unable to afford João next summer if he keeps up this incredible form. So what are they going to pull more financial levers to keep the fans and João happy? Or maybe João realizes this mid-season that they're not going to be able to sign him and he loses that spark, that motivation that we have seen from him, which could lead to even more fans not wanting to attend the games in a season where we're already only seeing half of normal game day revenue. There is little to no chance that Barcelona signs him for another year. I don't care what happens, how many levers are pulled. It's not going to happen, with one major exception. If Ansu shines at Brighton. If Ansu is able to pull out some incredible performances for Brighton and shows his old self again, putting in a ton of goals for them, maybe there is going to be some money coming in on the sale of Ansu. I have been a major proponent of Ansu. I'm a big fan of his. But if we can find a better player that helps our team more, and Ansu might not have a place, get your bag, let him play somewhere else and succeed somewhere else. That may give Barcelona the opportunity to sign João Félix, but that's all speculation. Who knows? Because Ansu has to succeed at Brighton for that to happen. And this entire mess is going to be a major problem for Barcelona next summer. Because if the fans fall in love with João Félix and then the board can't afford to sign him, people are going to be very upset, and I can see that decreasing attendance to a lot of games. João Félix signing at Barcelona is going to be incredibly exciting for a lot of people, but it's also going to be dangerous for a lot of people. Pretty much everyone, except Atleti. Whatever happens, they are going to profit from this loan. But the construction just started outside of my apartment right now, so I think this is a good place to end it. If you guys enjoy, please consider subscribing. I'm very excited to see what João does. But if you enjoyed this video, why don't you slide on over to my last video, which was analyzing whether or not Man City is actually a boring football club. It's a pretty interesting point, and I want to see what you guys have to say. So check it out. But thank you for watching. Bye.